What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Bros 2020 Cup predictions. It's just Nick and I here because who else would be here, let's be honest. So, we're going to quickly go through the regular season. If there's a couple that we might want to discuss in depth, but I was expecting all five of us to be here, and it's late Saturday night, and we just got to get this up. But the predictions are on screen, so they speak for themselves. So you can kind of see where people's thought processes are. Nick has a very interesting predictions, so he can maybe give some insight on his, and I give you the insight on mine when we get to the time. But for the regular season itself, we're gonna kind of skim through because we went super in depth. We predicted all 36 races for the winner. We predicted obviously the playoff grids, round by round, who's getting eliminated, who's advancing. We predicted rookie of the year. So there's a lot to unpack. So Nick, you ready?
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right, so we're gonna start off with the 500. Obviously, we made the predictions at the same time we did trucks and Xfinity, so we had the class predictions, but I tried editing this in a much fancier way, and it was just taking way too long. So I just had to do it the half-assed way to make it look not look a lot better, get it out faster as we ran out of time. So for the 500, I noticed you and I, along with Isaiah, have Hamlin winning, and Kesey has Eric Jones, and Cody has Matt DiBenedetto. Ours really aren't that much of a hot take. He's won 2 of the last 4. If he wins tomorrow, or today when they're seeing this, I guess technically later today, because it's going up in the middle of the night. If he wins the 2020 500, he will have a 500 dynasty going, which is something that hasn't happened in like 30 years or more.
That'd be really cool.
Yep, he'd have 3 out of the last 5. That's pretty cool. Fun fact, if you look at Denny's stats, in the last 8 races, he has 6 top 5s in the 500 with 2 wins. So he is he should be the favorite, but he gets slept on at plate races a lot, which I don't understand. So moving on to Vegas, we're not going to go up race by race, but I do notice everyone except for Cody and I have different winners. We have Logano and y'all have Harvick, Truex, and Keselowski. Let's skim all the way down to Atlanta, where you have Chase Elliott going on a freaking tear for that month. You have Chase Elliott winning 4 races at Atlanta, Homestead, Texas, and Bristol. You want to give your thought process on that?
Well, he's one of the. To be honest, he has had one of the best records there out of anyone else in the field. So I feel like he just start pulling after Johnson wins at Auto Club. Hendrick just goes on a tear, and Elliott wins 4 in a row after that.
It's funny that you have winning Atlanta, Homestead, Texas, and Bristol, because in Cup, he's never won at any of those tracks. But hey, man, you got to win your first race at a track sometime.
Yeah.
So, in that similar time frame, I have Blaney winning back-to-back races at Texas and Bristol. Those are the only 2 races I see him winning this year. Isaiah has Matt DiBenedetto winning Bristol. He obviously almost won the summer race last year there, so I could see it. I see Hamlin going back to victory lane at Richmond, as does Cody. You have Kyle Busch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, I put Kesey's as Busch. He doesn't have Kurt Busch winning a race. So if you see Busch on Kesey, it's Kyle. So he has Kyle Busch going on quite the tear. He's winning Bristol, Richmond. Ryan Preece separating the streak for Kyle, as he has Kyle winning Dover and then the All-Star race. A lot of people have Kyle Busch winning the All-Star race, actually. Kesey, Isaiah, y'all do. You have Bell. I have Boyer. The reason I have Boyer is because the All-Star race is usually won by a random driver. Jay McMurray won it in 2014. Hamlin won it 15. Logano 16. I think Kyle Busch 17. 2018, I can't remember who won it. Maybe like Harvick or something. And then last year was Larson. So it's like always a random driver. So I can see Boyer getting it. The only time I see him in victory lane this year. But you have Bell. You want to discuss that? Because he would be the first rookie to win it since what? Dale Jr. in 2000?
I just see Bell racing his way in through the open and just doing a great run through all the segments and just being there in the end and finding a way to pull through.
Yeah, and then we're going to end this first page with the Coke 600, one of the crown jewels. Myself, Kesey, and Cody all have Truex winning it, just because I think he's won, he dominates the Coke 600 nowadays. You have Johnson getting back into his prime. That's his second win of the season for you. He's always been a favorite at Charlotte, so I could see it. And then Isaiah has Keselowski. I don't recall Keselowski ever being a dominant force at Charlotte to be a favorite. But if you told me Keselowski won the Coke 600, I can't say I'd be surprised. So It's a good pick, I guess.
All right.
All right, here we are now on the second sheet. This is race, I think, 14 through 26. So this is the second half of the regular season. Starting at Kansas, obviously. I have William Byron winning his first career race at Kansas. I could just see it happening. Chase has won there. Bowman should have won there last year, but Brad got by him at the end. It's just like a good place for Hendrick to win. Everyone else going with obviously very hot takes: Kyle Busch, Keselowski, Kevin Harvick.
Yeah. And then we move on to Michigan. I got Elliott winning. You got Jones. We got Kesey with Harvick. And then we got Isaiah and Cody with Logano.
So I could genuinely see all four of those drivers winning that Michigan race. Eric Jones seems like a hot take, but he's really good at Michigan. Chase Elliott could seem like a hot take, but he had 4 straight second place finishes at Michigan, three or four. So Logano and Harvick both won there last year. Sonoma, I have Hamlin. That seems like a biased pick because I'm obviously a Hamlin fan. But if you look at Denny's road course record since 2016, he's one of the best road course racers in the series. Mm-hmm. In 2016, obviously it's a long time ago now, but he had an average finish of 1.5 at the road courses. He obviously won Watkins Glen. But last year in the Sonoma race, which I based this off of because it's a similar package, he restarted outside the top 20, and in a caution-free third stage with no pitting. I don't think they pit. Yeah, they didn't pit in the third stage. He drove all the way up to 5th with no cautions. So he was faster than Truex at the end, who ended up winning the race. So when it comes to Sonoma, I think Denny's the man. Isaiah obviously agrees. You have Keselowski, or you have Boyer. That's a very good picture, or a very good pick for Sonoma. That's an underrated pick, honestly.
Yeah, I just think he finds a way to pull through for his first win of the season, his only one for the season, for me.
He won there in 2012 with MWR. And then you have Truex for Cody and Kesey. That's a pretty good pick. Obviously, he won there last year. Mm-hmm. And he won there in 2013 as well. Chicagoland, I finally have Larson breaking through. He has 2 straight second-place finishes there. Isaiah agrees. Isaiah and I basically have the same predictions. Holy crap. Then you have Kyle Busch, and Keselowski. So I feel like if it's a mile and a half, you put Keselowski or Kyle Busch. It's not a bad pick. Then we get to the Pocono doubleheader. We're not going to go through every race, but some of these tracks are important. The Pocono doubleheader are interesting. I have Kyle Busch. I'm the only one that's Kyle Busch for the first race. But then you have a couple Blaney's, a Jones, and a Harvick. The Jones pick for Pocono is pretty interesting. He did finish second to Denny there at the second Pocono race. So a lot
Isaiah
of us see Eric Jones having a breakout season, I've noticed, which I'm here for.
Yeah, Isaiah has Blaney winning both of the Pocono races, which is interesting because the way you finish is the field gets inverted after that, so he'd have to drive from the back in the second round.
Well, only the lead lap cars finish, or only the lead lap cars get inverted. So, obviously, with the race being as short as it is, I don't see there being that many lap down cars, but I'm sure the Rick Wares, Starcom, the Gaunt Bros, those kind of cars will probably get it lapped. But wouldn't it be kind of cool for the Pocono 2 to have a Michael McDowell or a John Hunter on pole? I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, most definitely.
But then for Pocono 2, I have Truex. Kesey has Kyle Busch. Isaiah has Blaney winning back-to-back. That's the second time someone's had Blaney win back-to-back races because I had him at Bristol and Texas. And then Cody had Kyle Busch, and then you had Eric Jones. You have Eric Jones going back-to-back because you have him winning the Brickyard, which is very interesting. You want to talk about that?
Well, we all know how Toyota was last year, and they're going to be pretty the same this year. So I think Eric Jones just finally breaks out of the shell and starts having an outbreak year, and he just goes back-to-back at Pocono and Indy.
So I'm not going to go too in-depth about the Eric Jones thing. I did talk about that on our podcast a few episodes, maybe the most recent episode. We don't do the podcast very often as we should, but it's race season again, so now we have reason to. I don't think Eric Jones underperforms like everyone does. It's unfair to compare him to his teammates. If you compare him to the other young guys like Chase, Larson, etc., he's doing very well. He has 2 wins in his first 3 years. Who else can say that? So I could definitely see Eric Jones winning 4 or 5 races this year. For Indy, I have Hamlin winning. That, again, probably seems like a biased pick. But if you... I just dropped over a can. I don't know if you hear that. I just smacked it across the room. If you look at Denny's past results, 2017, he was top 5 at the end, and then he had that caution, or he had that spin. 2018, he had the race won until Jeffrey Earnhardt wrecked. And then Brad beat him at the end. But he had the race won. He was up by like 2 seconds with like literally a handful of laps to go. Like he had the race won. 2019, I don't remember much. I think he finished 5th in the 2019 race. I could be wrong on that. 5th or 11th. I don't know why those two numbers stick out in my head. So if he's going to win at Indy, I feel like it's going to be this year. Moving on, let's go down to Watkins Glen, because everybody but you has Chase Elliott winning Watkins Glen. It would be his 3rd win in a row at the track, but you have Byron winning. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Chase has won already for Hendrick in my predictions, and you got Jimmy winning. I think it's just Byron's time, and I think it really just comes down at Watkins Glen. A little bit of a technical track, but I think he's able to put on a show and get the win there for his first career win, and it'll be at Watkins Glen.
I like it. I don't know if Byron's ever been considered a road course ace, but like I said earlier, to win your first win at a track, you obviously got to win there. So we're going to move right down to Dover, because I'm looking at these predictions, and I didn't notice it while typing it out, but every one of us but Cody apparently lost our minds. I have Johnson, Isaiah has Johnson, Kesey has Christopher Bell, and you have Daniel Suarez.
Yeah, it's definitely a stretch pick, but I think he just comes through. He's definitely not the worst driver at Dover. It's just he doesn't have the car, but I think they do some strategy, and I think they pull out a crazy victory for that team, the Gaunt Brothers team there at Dover.
He does have an Xfinity win there, so I can see it. Pretty sure 2016 is championship year. I have Jimmy Johnson winning because while I don't have him going very far in the playoffs, as you guys will see, and I think the next slide, I do think he's going to win 2 races this year. I had him winning, I think, Atlanta earlier, and now Dover. It's his
Dover's always
retirement tour. Yeah, he's like 9 or 10 wins there, bro. Or maybe even 11 at this point. So yeah, Christopher Bell is an interesting pick. I wish Kesey was here so he could explain that one. And then we're heading to the Daytona regular season finale. You guys, okay? I have seen so much griping about them moving that to the regular season finale, but tradition aside, it's tradition. I understand, but just because something's been that way for a really long time doesn't mean it has to be that way. Unpopular opinion. So if any track had to be the regular season finale, if it's Daytona or Indy, I'm going Daytona, because that's going to be a must-watch race. And NASCAR, while it is a sport and it's supposed to be taken seriously, it's there for entertainment. It's not like WWE entertainment. Sports are meant for entertainment. And having Daytona as the regular season finale is going to be the most entertaining thing in the world. All those drivers know it's their last chance to make playoffs, and every driver in the field, barring a few, has a legitimate shot at winning. I have Stenhouse winning. Because if it comes down to Daytona being the regular season finale and Stenhouse isn't already in the playoffs, he's either going to win or he's going to flip. There's no in between. He's not going to finish second. He's going to finish upside down or in victory lane.
Yeah.
Because
he's an aggressive driver, and if it's his last chance to get in the playoffs, he's going to do everything he can to either get there or he's going to go checkers or wreckers, man. And you got to respect the man for doing that,
Now that I mention it, I bet Watkins Glen is going to be the same. Because, you don't think of it, but Watkins Glen, JTG cars with Allmendinger, a lot, obviously he's not there now, but, in the past, that was, his last-ditch effort to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Then I could see people who's another...
And with that being 3 races before the playoffs, that's exactly going to change a lot.
Because, if you don't win Watkins Glen and you're, a mid-class car, Daytona's your last chance. Dover, that's a wash. Michigan, New Hampshire, Kentucky, count those out. If you're Ryan Preach or something, Watkins Glen and Daytona are what you have circled on the calendar if you're not already in. Isaiah has Corey LaJoie winning. Now, people have a misconception. I don't know if Isaiah does, but a lot of people have a misconception just because Go Fast is getting Stewart-Haas Racing equipment or Technical Alliance. They expect it to be full-on Furniture Row, Joe Gibbs type deal, and it's really not. They're getting old 2017, 2018 chassis and stuff, and that's about it. They're not really getting involved in the technical meetings. They're just getting old.
Washed up equipment, pretty much, yeah.
They're getting, I believe Corey LaJoie said they're getting the car that Harvick won Phoenix with, and I think 2017, or 2018. So it's 2020 now. They're not using stuff last year. They were using 2014, 2015, 2016 type stuff. Now they're getting a few more years fresher, but it's still not. They're not going to win races unless Daytona. And then Cody has Almirola winning. That's no secret how I feel about Almirola. I think he deserves more hate than Boyer does because Boyer, at least, if you look at the stats last year, Boyer was the second best to Hoss car. He had more top 5s, top 10s, etc. He has Almirola winning Daytona. I think if Almirola was to win a race, it would be at Daytona or Talladega. So, and you have Stenhouse winning. I love the pick because I have the same pick. Let's head to the round of 16. I'm going to go through my 16. You can go through yours, and then we can just skim over theirs.
Right.
I have Denny Hamlin being a first seed, and then you have Kyle Busch, Truex, Logano, Johnson. I have Jimmy being a fifth seed. He's going into the playoffs pretty high because he has 2 wins. Then we have Blaney, Keselowski, Larson, Byron, Jones. Then you have Harvick, Elliott, Stenhouse, and then Buescher, Bowman, and Newman get in on points. So I have 13 winners in the regular season, and then 14, 50, 16 on points. So if you want to do yours now.
I got Chase Elliott. Obviously, he won 5 races in the regular season I had, and then I got Hamlin, who won. Harvick, who I think won 3. Johnson 3. Busch, I think won 2. Jones, Keselowski, Byron, Bell, Logano, Blaney, Newman, Custer, Bowman, Larson, and Stenhouse all making it in, and the mid-range of those guys all a one-run race, so they all entered the chase that way.
And then you, Kesey and Cody both have Kyle Busch as a first seed with Isaiah and Hamlin. I noticed everyone has Hamlin really high up there except Cody. He doesn't even have Hamlin making the playoffs.
That's crazy in my opinion. Like,
that's very crazy in my opinion as well.
It's very unlikely that yeah.
Even in 2018 when Denny didn't win a race, he still made the playoffs. He was a first round elimination, but to not have him in the playoffs is just mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm biased. Any real surprises in their playoffs? I mean, Kesey has Bell and Priest making it. Isaiah has Bell, LaJoy, DiBenedetto. Kurt Busch, we haven't really mentioned him all video.
No. Cody has Austin Dillon, Almirola, Kurt Busch again.
He has Boyer.
Yep.
And then Bell. So then anyways, for the 3 races in the round of 16, I have Hamlin winning Darlington, so he's locked into the next round. I have Eric Jones winning Richmond, so he's locked into the next round. And I have Chris Buescher winning Bristol, so he's locked into the next round. Kesey has Hamlin, Jones, Kyle Busch. Isaiah has Hamlin, Newman, Truex, so he has Newman winning Richmond. Oh. That's a bold pick. Cody has Larson, Logano, Larson. And then
really?
You can do yours.
And I have Jones, Logano, Johnson, who will all lock themselves into the next round.
That Johnson-Bristol pick is really a bold pick in my opinion.
And yeah, I think that's his. I think that's where he caps off his year, but I think he does it pretty well. Just enough to get him through the playoffs.
All right, now as we head to the round of 12, before we get into the actual drivers in the playoffs still, can we talk about how dope the round of 12 is? Las Vegas is going to be the most intense mile-and-a-half race we've ever seen. Because if you leave Las Vegas in a bad way,
you got to do really well at Talladega or the Roval.
And the Roval. I don't know what's scarier. Everyone always is terrified of Talladega, but imagine going to the Roval in a must-win. Like, if Denny's in that situation, he's screwed. And that's coming from a diehard Hamlin fan. I am recording this right now in a Hamlin hat and Hamlin hoodie. And I will send you a picture right now if you don't believe it. Like, that round terrifies me. Because Denny's not the best at Vegas. He's all right at Talladega. Like, he's really good. He's good at plate racing, but, like, you can't really depend on that. And while he is good at road course racing, the Roval just doesn't fit his niche.
Yeah.
But
because it's completely different than any other road course.
It's more of a street circuit than it actually. It's not really a street circuit, but it's more of a street circuit than Watkins Glen or Sonoma. Like, it's not at all a street circuit. Don't confuse that with what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like, it's like a completely different type of road course.
Mhm.
It's like a technical course, if anything. But anyways, with the round of 12, we those who I do not have making it into the round of 12, like who got eliminated in round of 16, I have Johnson, Larson, Stenhouse, Newman. I know the Larson and the Johnson ones might be a hot take. If you think that's a hot take, wait till you see the next round. I had Johnson winning 2 races, but I don't see him making it. And Larson, I feel like something's going to go awry in the first round, and that's going to be a catalyst for him just giving up on Ganassi. Like, yeah.
And then you got Kesey with Larson, Byron, Priest, Newman. I don't see any really surprising takes there, if I'm being honest.
I mean, the Byron one kind of is.
A little bit, yeah. I feel like Byron will have a good year, but Larson, I really don't see Larson making it too far in the playoffs. Not in CGR.
And then Isaiah has DiBenedetto, LaJoy, Bowman, Bell. Kind of interesting seeing Bowman get eliminated so early. DiBenedetto, while he is a fan favorite, we don't know what to expect. LaJoy and Bell make sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Then you got Cody with Byron, Bell, Amarola, Johnson.
Not a
Johnson,
lot of love for
Byron, I
Byron.
see a little bit. No, Byron's getting kicked to the can. But I see I'm surprised with Byron and Johnson. Amarola, I'm not surprised. Bell, I'm not really surprised. Even though I do have them making it to the round of 8, it's not that surprising. But for me, I have Custard, Bowman, and Larson and Stenhouse all getting eliminated. They all came in on points. Well, besides Stenhouse.
Wow, so 3 of us have Larson getting eliminated in the first round. I did not notice that. Yeah, but Stenhouse and Custer, I would be kind of surprised if you see my prediction. I don't think any of the 3 rookies three of the big 3 rookies are making the playoffs. The Cup field is just so stacked this year, and people expect those 3 to go win 5 races each. I will be genuinely surprised if at the end of regulation, like they're on the full race, no weather, if any of the rookies win a race this year at any track. If you look back at a full-time rookie, not counting Trevor Bayne or Justin Haley, only 2 rookies since 2009 have won a race. That was Logano at New Hampshire, rain shortened, and then Buescher in 2016 at Pocono, fog shortened. So,
Fog short, yeah.
and even then, Justin Haley's win was rain shortened, and Trevor Bayne, he just won a plate race. It was Daytona 500, so props to him. Happy birthday, Trevor Bayne, 20 years old. But I don't see
that was the
Bell
most
winning.
legit win I feel out of all the rookies besides Logano.
Oh, 100. I mean, Logano, he just didn't pit for a few laps and it started raining. He did what Alex Labay did in the Xfinity race today. He just went a little bit longer.
And it ended up working.
It did. It did work. Looking at the 3 races in the round of 12, you have Vegas. I have Logano. Kesey has Bowman. Isaiah has Johnson.
Cody has Kyle Busch, and I have Blaney coming in through Vegas.
That's actually a pretty good pick. I can see Blaney winning Vegas. Then you have Talladega, the first of the 2 wild cards that round. I have Newman, as do you actually. That's interesting.
Yeah, I do have Newman.
Then Kesey has Logano, and Isaiah has Blaney going back-to-back at the fall Talladega races. And then Cody apparently has Kurt Busch getting his first ever Talladega win. And then the Roval, not surprised, Truex, Johnson, and then you out of nowhere.
Yeah. I'm really going with these wild picks, but I got Cold Custard winning the Roval. I just see him find an opportunity with the 41 team to just make it to victory lane on a stretch. He's already out of the playoffs, so he's got nothing to lose. He's not looking in or anything like that. So he just wins at the Roval.
Yeah, and I want to quickly clarify this because it kind of confused me when I was making the list. So the 4 dash marks at the bottom obviously are the guys who did not make the round. So if you look back to the last one, we had a round of 16. We didn't show any eliminations from the round of 16. So he has Custer, Bowman, Larson, Stenhouse not making the round of 16, even though it's on the round of 12 sheet. So Custer winning the Roval doesn't automatically move him to the next round because he wasn't even in the playoffs at the Roval. So I just want to clarify that.
Yeah, I could see how that got mixed up because that sort of confused me when I was reading that off.
All right, and here we are with the round of 8. So, obviously, from the round of 12 going to the round of 8, those who I have not making it, like I said earlier, if you thought those were hot takes, you see these. I have Kyle Busch, Chris Buescher, William Byron, and Kevin Harvick getting eliminated after the second round. After race 6 in the playoffs, they're not there. I don't have any of those guys making the Elite 8. And I'll tell you why. I don't see Kyle Busch surviving Talladega. He has an career average 26th place finish at Talladega. I don't know if that's a real stat. I know he has 26th place finish. I just can't remember if it's past few races or overall. Harvick, Talladega, then the Roval. I don't see him running well enough at Vegas to really contend at Talladega and the Roval. Byron and Buescher, I don't know. Compared to everyone else, I don't see him making it.
Well, I see Buescher as a far outtake from actually making the playoffs, to be honest.
Really? Well, judging by this, I'm not the only one who has doubts Harvick will make it to the Elite 8 because the tracks just don't really suit well. The round of 12 is just difficult. But Kesey has Harvick, Keselowski, Bell, and Busher not making the round of 8, and then Isaiah has Harvick, Larson, Logano, and Kurt Busch. That's a star-studded elimination after round of 12.
Yeah.
You
Then
think Cody?
Cody's got Jones, Boyer, Bowman, Austin Dillon. Not really surprised with the Austin Dillon. I didn't even see him making the playoffs.
He isn't
Bowman,
surviving a full round.
yeah. Bowman, I'm a little surprised by. I think he could have squeaked in there maybe a little bit.
Didn't you eliminate Bowman after the round of
I
16?
I did, but I mean Bowman can have an up and down year. It's very hard, I feel, to judge Bowman right now.
Yeah, that's
And then
true.
Boyer, not surprised. And Jones, I'm pretty surprised by Eric Jones. Coming into the round of 8, I have Jones as the leader, and then I got Logano, Johnson, Elliott, Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Byron making it through, and Christopher Bell also making it through. I think he can survive Talladega and get some good points there. But I do see Harvick and Kozlowski just like Kesey did. I don't see them making it. And then I also have Blaney not making it and Newman not making it.
Yeah.
And then
If Cody thought
we go over
Bowman getting eliminated at the end of the round of 12 was like an obvious pick, wait till he sees my Final Four.
Oh, God.
So, obviously, I see Bowman making it pretty far because I have him winning Kansas. Kesey is Byron. I had Byron winning the first Kansas race. And then Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, and you had Tyler Reddick.
Yeah, my round of 8 is definitely a weird one compared to everyone else. I have no chase drivers winning or playoff drivers winning running any races in the round of 8.
You
So,
have Hamlin and Martinsville.
oh, I do have Hamlin there. Sorry, but the top 2 are definitely different, and it's going to be very hard for everyone to get in on points. So it's going to shuffle the field a little bit.
Yeah, you have Bowman winning Texas. I like that because I don't think I'm gonna be at that race actually, but that would be pretty cool to see. Cody is Harvick, Isaiah is Hamlin, Kesey with Kyle Busch, and then I have Truex, and then Texas obviously, a couple Hamlins, a couple of Ganos, and a Johnson.
Yeah.
But as we move forward to the Final Four, obviously we're not going to include the winner of the Final Four because that would spoil the last part. But the Final Four, those who I've eliminated at the end of the round of 8 are Logano, Keselowski, Jones, and Elliott. Now you might be looking at my Final Four and look at those who got eliminated and be like, 2 of those don't make any sense. I have Blaney and Bowman over Logano, Keselowski, Chase Elliott, and Eric Jones. And the reason for that is, if you go back and look at the tracks in the final or in the round of 8, I don't see, for some reason, with the new crew chief and the pit crew change at Team Penske, I see Blaney being really good at all 3 of those tracks. And Bowman,
Yeah.
I can see having a really good Kansas because I have him winning Kansas, so that automatically puts him in the Final Four. And he's good enough at Texas and arguably good enough at Martinsville to point his way in. Chase, I don't know, man. The round of 8 last season, you saw him choke under pressure so hard. And Logano and Keselowski, it's always hit or miss for them. Once they get to the deep end of the playoffs, they always just like choke.
Yeah, but I definitely see how you can have Blaney. I see Blaney getting a top 5 at Texas and Martinsville. But then you got Casey's people who don't make it is Jones, Bowman, Elliott, Blaney.
Then
You
Isaiah, you have Keselowski, Blaney, Elliott, Newman.
So Newman making it pretty far
Yeah.
playoffs. Cody's got Truex, Larson, Kurt Busch making it far in the playoffs for him, and Boyer too making it.
Cody doesn't even have Denny making the playoffs, but he has freaking Boyer making the Elite 8.
And then I got Logano, Kyle Busch, Byron, and Bell. Bell, not surprised that he a lot of people were surprised that I had him in the lead 8. I think Byron just falls off. And Kyle Busch, none of the tracks, I don't think he just doesn't show up. And Logano, with the crew chief change, like you said, I don't think it's going to be well for him. I think it's a great accomplishment for that team to make it to the round of 8, but I think they just don't have enough to put it in the round of 4.
Yeah, I agree. So, Those who I obviously we'll quickly go over who everyone has in the Final Four. I have Hamlin, Truex, and then Blaney Bowman. Two of those probably not surprising. Two of those are very surprising. But I feel like the age of having a Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Truex, and then a random fourth person in the Final Four, those are done in my opinion. I don't really see. I would be kind of surprised if Harvick made a Final Four again in the near future. Kyle Busch, I think, is having just a good season, but a bad round. That's going to eliminate him.
Mm-hmm.
Truex I have, and Hamlin I have. And honestly, yeah, Kesey's is like a star-studded Final Four.
Yeah, he's got Kyle Busch, Logano, Denny Hamlin, and Martin Truex Jr. And he's got Kyle Busch apparently doing pretty well through the last round, which makes him the top seed.
Mm-hmm.
And then Isaiah is just like you with Hamlin as the top seed. And then he's got Johnson in second. And Kyle Busch also makes it to the round of 4 with him. And then you got Truex rounding out the field there.
And then Cody over here with Chase Elliott being a first seed heading into the Final Four. And then Kevin Harvick, Logano, Kyle Busch. Obviously, I don't agree with any of those four because I don't have any of those four in my Final Four.
And then you got me with Denny Hamlin being the top seed. He just won Martinsville, and he's the only one any of the playoff drivers to win, so he's definitely going to make the top seed. That's the only logical way. And then I got Eric Jones making it pretty far in the playoffs, and Chase Elliott and Jimmy Johnson. So
I'm sure a lot of people look at that right now and see Jones in the Final Four, and they're like, dude, this kid does nothing. But I'm calling it now, man. You saw with the Clash. There's a new Eric Jones out here.
Yeah. So I got Hendrick and JGR making it to the playoffs.
Yeah, I was about to mention that.
2 Toyotas and 2 Chevys make it in there. So.
All right, so we head to the last sheet. The champions, who all of us have. Me and Kesey have Denny Hamlin. Isaiah and Cody have Kyle Busch. And then Nick's over here with Jimmy Johnson winning his 8th and going out on top. What a story that would be. I doubt it personally, but I'm getting eliminated the first round, so.
I see it a little bit of a long shot, but the way he's been acting over the off season, I see he just comes out and really shows up the competition, says that he can still be a little bit competitive, and he goes out on top. And what a way that would be.
And then quickly, man, the Rookie of the Years, I was looking at this. All of us have Christopher Bell winning it. Isaiah and I have the exact same Rookie of the Year predictions. It's kind of hard because the first one's obviously going to be the same. Second and third going to be swapped. Fourth's going to be the same, and fifth and sixth going to be swapped. So, Isaiah and I have Reddick. You three have Custer. I don't see Custer being that hot the first season because he's never that good in the first season. He wasn't that great in trucks or Xfinity in his first season. And then if you didn't have Custer, you have Reddick. If you didn't have Reddick, you have Custer. Everyone has John Hunter Nemechek finishing 4th in the Rookie of the Year. Because front row is not going to beat Stewart Haas, RC, or Levine, but he's not going to lose to Premium or Starcom. And then if you don't have Quinn Hoff in 5th, you have Brennan Poole. If you don't have Brennan Poole in 6th, you have Quinn Hoff or Half. But I'm actually more excited for the Rookie of the Year battle than anything else.
Yeah, I think it'll be definitely interesting.
If John Hunter can somehow finish like 3rd in Rookie of the Year, I feel like that's going to be a major overachieve. Like an overachieving situation.
But I don't see that out of the realm of possibilities. I definitely see it being close, not too far away, you know?
Well, if you look at what he did last season in his I think he had like a handful of starts last season. He beat McDowell and David Reagan. Like he outqualified them and outraced them every week. I'm pretty sure he finished ahead of them every time. So if he can do that with 10-year veterans, I could definitely see him doing that to like Custer or Reddick, maybe even Bell. I don't think he'll beat Bell, but I wouldn't be surprised if John Hunter finished 3rd in Rookie of the Year. I don't see 2nd or definitely 1st, but 3rd I could see. I think 3rd's more realistic than 5th.
Oh, definitely.
But that was the Bros 2020 Cup predictions. It's kind of fitting we're uploading this on Daytona Day. That wasn't the plan. It was supposed to go up a week ago, but yeah. So hopefully we'll come back at the end of the season and see which one's more accurate. And yeah, until then, see you guys next time.